All right, let's try this again. Did this video about 30 minutes ago, and the audio suddenly cut out, so the whole video was kaputs. Here we go again. Starting fresh. September 7th, 2021. Answering a question today from a Linchpin member by the name of Jonathan T. And Jonathan T. wrote, "What are some suggestions on how to sustain health and fitness over time? I struggle with consistency and getting back into it when my life gets disrupted by work or something else that's going on." Super common question that we can all benefit from. We've touched on some of the stuff, but it's been a while. So we'll dive right in, hopefully provide some actionable information for people. I've got my notes, of course, to keep me on track here. So first of all, this, to me anyway, sounds corny and cheesy, but I wouldn't say it if I didn't think that it actually worked and I hadn't tried it myself and believe that it works. And so that is, ask yourself why. Why are you working out to begin with? Why is health and fitness important to you? Why do you want to eat well? And I don't really care what your reasons are. They can be different than mine, different than your neighbors. It doesn't matter. Whatever those reasons are for you, write them down on a piece of paper, start a document on your computer or phone, whatever you need to do. And the reasons that you want to pursue health and fitness could be just general quality of life, independent living. Maybe you want to be active, hiking, playing outside, sports. Maybe you've got some kids, you want to play with your kids. Maybe you want to avoid chronic disease to the best of your ability based upon lifestyle factors. Maybe you want to pursue some of the other ones that are a bit tougher to quantify, such as improving mental health, confidence, things of that nature. Whatever it is, write them down, okay? Write them down. And then literally read those out loud every day, right before you work out, or potentially when you're contemplating skipping that workout, or something in the fridge is calling to you that you know you shouldn't consume, but it is certainly calling to you. Go back to this list and literally read them out loud. And it can be even more powerful if you just don't create a bullet point list, but make them into a paragraph, like a short narrative or story as to why these things are so meaningful to you. And then I would read them out loud. And I've done this before with different goals or things that I wanted to achieve in life, and I truly believe there is something to that of seeing it visually, reading it, getting it into your head. That way, you're saying it out loud at the same time. You're hearing it as you say it. You do it day after day, and it just, I don't know, it starts to seep into you, and your thoughts, in my opinion anyway, your words can become your thoughts can slowly become your actions, and if they become your actions, then suddenly you're on the path that you ideally wanted to be on in the first place. So I would give that a whirl, especially for Jonathan here, who's struggling with making working out and health and fitness a consistent habit when things get sideways, as they do in life. Okay, some other things that I would say is give yourself some grace, give yourself a break. And what I mean by that is there are and will be legitimate reasons to skip a workout. Life happens to all of us, and that's okay. And to think that life is not going to throw curveballs at us, and we're never going to miss another workout, and all of our meals are going to be amazing, I think is setting the bar unrealistically and unobtainably high, and you are setting yourself up for failure, heartbreak, and disappointment, and that's not going to be good for your long-term sustainability. So yeah, there will be ones that you miss. That's life, that's okay, but that doesn't mean missing workouts is now your new norm or your new lifestyle. It just means today was crazy and today didn't go as planned. That's different than this week didn't go as planned, this month didn't go as planned, or my life's not going as I wanted it to. And missing a workout or having a bad meal, it's not going to sink the ship. So that's important to keep in mind also. With that being said, lots of missed workouts or lots of bad meals will eventually sink the ship. And that's why consistency is so incredibly important. And Jonathan mentioned that in his question is, what can I do to make this sustainable? Sustainability and consistency kind of go hand in hand. And while it's not one workout that will improve your fitness, it's a culmination. Same with healthy eating. It's not today's workout that suddenly made you into a beast or a pinnacle of health. It's the fact that you had a good week, then a good week turns into a good month turns into a good quarter turns into a year, and then suddenly the needle is really moving in the right direction for sure. So making health and fitness a habit is very, very important. And piggybacking onto that is why I personally believe that being disciplined and helping to develop some discipline to pursue what you want to pursue is more important than being motivated, because motivation is fleeting. It comes and it goes. You've got seasons of your life or days or weeks or moments that you're profoundly motivated, but most of life is just normal. And I'm here to tell you, for me personally, if I only worked out when I was motivated to work out, I would not do a lot of workouts. Or if I only ate healthy when I was motivated to eat healthy, I would not have a lot of good meals. But it's my fundamental understanding of delayed gratification and the long term goal of pursuing a healthy lifestyle, and how all those workouts add up, and how all those little decisions add up, and how important each of those meals is, and how it adds up. That perspective helps give me the discipline to make the proper choice, even if I'm not motivated in the moment to make the proper choice. The discipline wins out. So I think that's very important. So developing the discipline to take the steps required to accomplish your goals, motivated or not, is going to be one of the keys to success and the keys to sustainability and consistency. So things that may help make working out a habit or eating well a habit could be, I would recommend doing your workouts earlier in the day as opposed to later in the day. And I just say that because most of the time, life has no regard for your plans, and life tends to roll a hand grenade into your life sometime over the course of the day, meaning something pops up that was unforeseen, extra work, an extra responsibility, requirements, something goes sideways, something takes more time than you thought. So if you thought, well, I'm going to have this hour break later in the day, I can count on that. Maybe, but there's a good chance the day got away from you. So if you try to knock out the workout earlier in the day, as early as you can pull it off, then it's done. Clean slate, breathe easy, and then whatever happens for the rest of the day happens. But at least you got that done and you're good to go. Now, working out in the morning, especially if you're not used to it, might lead to workouts that aren't quite as, I don't know. It's just tougher to get going in the morning, tougher to warm up. Heavy weight feels extra heavy. Moderate intensity feels extra spicy. It's just the morning, you're just not quite there. You haven't been moving around for several hours. So if you're not used to working out in the mornings, the workouts might not feel as just beautiful as they historically have been. But in keeping with the context of Jonathan's question, who cares? Because what we're talking about is setting up our life so that we don't miss workouts and so that we don't go off the rails. And so if it's either, I hope I'll get it in later in the day, but then I never do, so I'm just screwed, or I'm going to get my workouts in the morning, and yeah, I move a little slower and I lift a little bit less weight, but man, I've been getting them in. I'll take that any single day of the week, 100%. So potentially think about doing your workouts earlier in the day. I would also say to maybe embrace some meal prep. So if you can look down the road of your week, are you traveling, are you going to the office, whatever it happens to be, and lay out as many meals or prep as many meals as you can just to get ahead of the game. So if you find yourself in a situation, it's easier to make a good decision than to make a bad decision. That's going to be your friend as well. Another little cliche phrase, but I think helps here in talking about making working out a habit, is that the perfect is the enemy of the good. The perfect is the enemy of the good. And so what I mean by that is sometimes CrossFitters, God bless them, they're crazy, can get in their head that only a perfect workout session counts, and anything else that's less than perfect and less than ideal is a wasted day. I couldn't do all of the warm up, or I had to cut the workout from 5 rounds to 4, or I wanted to do some optional accessory work and I didn't get to do it, and just the workout was supposed to be at 135, but I did it at 115. It wasn't perfect. It was worthless. I disagree with that so strongly. I actually have a hard time verbalizing how strongly I disagree with that. That saying that the perfect is the enemy of the good, I think it can prevent people from just doing something, because it's this all or nothing approach. And an all or nothing approach is usually the opposite of sustainable and the opposite of something that you're going to maintain. So get that out of your head. The heck with perfect. Let's just do something, right? And that leads us to the other phrase you'll hear all the time. It's like, oh, well, I did something good because something's better than nothing, right? We've all heard that. Something's better than nothing. Yes, but my problem with that saying is it leads one to believe that doing something is just marginally better, just barely better than doing nothing. Like, something's better than nothing. I don't think that paints the whole picture, especially with you actually getting out into the garage, moving your body, touching a bit of loading, and getting your heart rate up and your breathing going. In that regard, I think doing something is infinitely better than doing nothing, orders of magnitude better than doing nothing. So just get yourself to do something. And that could be, you've got some things that you can play with to make sure you actually get out into the garage. We say that scaling is cool. And so if looking at the workout and doing it in the morning, it's a bit overwhelming, scale it, modify it. Who cares? Scaling is cool, and it's quite smart, and it's usually a decision that most people should make more frequently. So take the pressure off yourself. Scale the darn workout, get out in the garage, and just move. And you've got a few different knobs that you can modify and play with to help you actually get out there and do it. There could be more than this, but the simple ones are volume, loading, and intensity. So volume is the overall amount of work. How many reps are you doing? If it's a lot, you're just trying to motivate yourself to get out into the garage, or develop that discipline to get out into the garage, get off the couch. Lower the reps if that's going to help you get out there and do something. The loading. If it's just too heavy, knock the loading down. Who cares? And then the intensity. If you don't feel like just setting your rear end on fire, you're just not quite there yet, move it low intensity, move it moderate intensity. So you can play with the volume, you can play with the loading, you can play with the intensity, you can scale or modify in any way, shape, or form that you need to just motivate yourself to get out there and do something, to start to make it an actual habit. And I don't say this too often, you can also cherry pick. I don't think I've ever actually said that as a good thing, but you can cherry pick the workout. If it's coming down to you not doing anything, okay, or you doing something that you like, do something that you like. Look backwards in the programming. Pick a workout that you really enjoyed. Look forwards in the programming. Pick one that you enjoyed. Again, if it's that or nothing, I'll take that any single day of the week. Is that ideal? No. If you love, nobody loves squat cleans, but I'll say that just in case I'm talking to a beautiful psychopath. If you love squat cleans, moderate volume, moderate loading, you're like an Elizabeth, squat clean Elizabeth, and you just want to do squat cleans a whole bunch, do squat cleans a whole bunch. Is that ideal? No. I mean, you're doing a repetitive pattern? Yes. Repetitive musculature? Yes. But we're talking about doing that or doing nothing. And so I'd rather have that. And then after this individual starts to get it into the flow of their life and walking out into the garage is easier and easier, well then let's start optimizing what you're doing so that it is beautiful variance, constantly varied function moves at high intensity, and you're hitting all the domains and rep ranges and loadings and movements that you want. But we can get there eventually. We don't need to get there today. Again, obviously specific to this individual's question. And there's a bunch of stuff you could do that it doesn't take a whole lot of time, but again, it's infinitely better than doing nothing. Just go jog a mile. I don't even care what your time is. Just go jog a mile. Depending upon how quick you are, you'll be done between 7 and 11 minutes, so you don't need all day. If you've got a rower or a bike, go into the garage and do death by calories on that. Now, yes, that turns into quite a painful experience, but you're probably not going to go longer than 20 minutes. so you don't need a tremendous amount of time. And minutes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, you've got a built-in warm-up. So you probably don't even need to warm up. So again, don't need a lot of time, built-in warm-up, so much better than nothing. It's not even comparable. Just drop down and do 50 burpees. Fast, moderate, slow, I don't care. It's still 50 burpees. So whether you're blitzing it or taking your time, it'll take you 3 minutes to 7 or 8 minutes, again, depending upon how fast or slow you're going. You don't need a ton of time. Infinitely better than doing nothing. Do a 10-minute Cindy instead of a 20-minute Cindy. And if you're not quite warmed up enough yet for pull-ups, do ring rows. Not quite warmed up enough for full push-ups, do knee push-ups. And if your air squats take a while to warm up so they don't get below parallel until the third round, who cares? Because the other option was doing absolutely nothing and just sitting on the couch. And I'll take that 10-minute Cindy where rounds 1, 2, and 3 are a warm-up over doing nothing any day of the week. And you can play this game with a whole bunch of different things just to get, just to give yourself some spark again. Just get out there and start to make it a habit. Also beneficial can be not running the clock. So again, if you're in a funk right now, but you've been working out for years, you know what your previous Helen time was, and you get out, after, again, being inconsistent, diet's been a dumpster, and now you get out there, you're going to do the Helen workout again, and you know what your old time was, and you know that you're not going to come near that time because it's just not where you are. Well, that's going to demotivate you. Don't run the darn clock. Believe it or not, you can get fit without running the clock. And it can be a wonderful mental decompression to give yourself some time away from the clock. I've been running the clock for 16 years. I'm well aware of the benefits of the clock, the benefits of data, the benefits of measurable, observable, repeatable. And I'm here to tell you, every now and then, at least once a week, I don't run the clock, and I love it. And it's fun, and it helps me enjoy walking out into the gym. So think about that as well. And potentially, well, there's several other things we could talk about, but a final one that we'll discuss that is maybe the most important, getting back to Jonathan's question about making health and fitness sustainable and, finding motivation to get back on track when you get off track. Community. Community. So important. This message was posted in the CrossFit Linchpin private track Facebook group, and that group is a support group, quite frankly, is what it is, full of wonderful, amazing, positive people from all around the world, picking each other up, helping dust each other off, and give them a gentle nudge forward. It's phenomenal, and you have to have a crew like that in this world. Life is a team sport. It is not an individual sport. So don't try to go it alone. The odds are absolutely stacked against you. You have to find people that make you the best version of you, and they are also invested in you becoming better. You want to find those people, and we've got them at Linchpin. It's our secret weapon, quite frankly. And find your crew, your people, your community that you can let your guard down around, that you can be vulnerable. Because if you can't let your guard down and you can't be vulnerable because, I don't know, the community is weird or egotistical or I don't know, well, then you're probably not going to feel safe enough or confident enough or secure enough to ask for help and to admit that something is not going right. And so if you're not even in a community or environment that you feel comfortable raising the topic or question, that would almost be priority number one for me. Find yourself a better community. That is absolutely mission critical. And I think you will be astonished how much a great community can help keep you on track, keep you fired up, keep you moving forward, and keep things fun. So, Jonathan, I hope that helps. And thanks to everybody in the Linchpin community that help support Jonathan and give him some fantastic answers. And if you're struggling out there somewhere with consistency, I hope some of these things gave you some food for thought. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk again later.